You're listening to the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, home of the #1 sports talk show on the planet, The Doug Stewart Show.
This is a revolution in radio, the realest, trillest sports talk show in America, The Doug Stewart Show.
Broadcasting live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon Eastern Time, exclusively on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
This is sports talk for the people.
Follow Stewart Media and Entertainment right now on Facebook to stay connected and locked in for upcoming events like the Couples and Cocktail Series, viewing parties, and much, much more. Up next, get ready to ride raw with the Doug Stewart Show.
This is sports talk with hot sauce, Texas Pete hot sauce, the Doug Stewart Show.
Exclusively on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
Yes! We're doing some huge things here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, home of the Doug Stewart Show, and the biggest thing being broadcasting other shows. That's right, we're executive producing other shows and playing them on my network. You may have a fantastic show or podcast, but do you have listeners? We got listeners. Over 9,000 followers to the Doug Stewart Show on the Spreaker platform, as well as over 200,000 plus listens to the network itself. So here's what you do. Go to Fiverr.com, that's Fiverr.com, and search the Doug Stewart Show or Stewart Media and Entertainment and get all the details. Or just hit up the producer, Tree at TheDougStewartShow.com. That's spelled Trei. Tree at TheDougStewartShow.com, and come and do business with us on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Yes! From sporting events, concerts, and plays, Gistix has the best tickets for them all. The owner, a veteran and military spouse, founded the company set on delivering affordable prices for all the top events. Also, they sell 100% authentic signed memorabilia and quality fan merchandise. It's a one-stop shop for fans. Gistix was founded in 2014 by 4 fun people with military and DoD backgrounds that are fans of everything entertainment. They work hard at helping fans like us discover tickets for live entertainment at a great price, providing hard-to-find authentic sports items and merchandise. And they offer Easter eggs that give fans additional opportunities to purchase unique items. Active and non-military members receive an additional discount on event tickets and fan merchandise items as a thank you for your service. Again, Gistix is founded by fans, and they listen to other fans to understand the importance of service, price, and quality across the board for entertainment, memorabilia, and merchandise. Check them out at Gistix.com, spelled Jistix.com. Again, Gistix.com. That's Gistix.com.
Doctor, this is the mayor talking.
All right.
Doctor,
Come on, what?
always do the right thing.
If you came here to hear for fake, you are in the wrong place. We are for real around here. We keeps it real. This is the Doug Stewart Show, the livest, the realest, the trillest sports talk show in America. Are you not entertained? This is Sports Talk with Hot Sauce, Texas Pete Hot Sauce, the Doug Stewart Show. Yes! Game time. Oh, I like when I do that. Game time. Welcome to the Doug Stewart Show. What's happening? Throwback Thursday, November 5th, 2015, the eve of my birthday. We made it. Bring that beat back one more time. Bring it back one more time. Yeah. Hey, thank you for joining me on the Doug Stewart Show, man. This is a Throwback Thursday, and oh boy, got a lot of great things we're going to get into today, as we do every single day here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Shouts out to my man Poe Politicking. The Kicking It with Kesey show aired yesterday on the network. Shouts out to you guys. Appreciate all the love. Shouts out to all of the Stewies. Everybody already locked and loaded in the chat room. Big ups to y'all. Thank you very much. We got new listeners. Do we got new listeners? Of course we got new listeners. We get new listeners every single day here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, the Doug Stewart Show, home of the Doug Stewart Show. If you're new to the show, man, thank you. It took you long enough to find us. We are well into our second year of the Doug Stewart Show. And it's going fantastic, building the show every single day. And if you're new to the show, bottom line is this the realest, treeless, most unfiltered sports and guy talk show in America. What else? We have fun around here. We laugh. We joke around. We talk birthdays. We do top fives. We got a little kind of like a quasi top five today. Sports, entertainment, lifestyle. That's what we do around here on the Doug Stewart Show. Hey, a couple things you need to do if you're new. You need to go to Spreaker.com. Follow the show on Spreaker. There's a little follow button. So if you hit the follow button whenever the show goes live or whenever we play another show on the network, you'll get an alert. All right? So you need to do that. That's very, very important. Follow the show on Spreaker.com. Then you need to hit the chat bubble, and the chat room is already buzzing right now. Then you need to hit the chat bubble and be interactive with the show, okay? And the chat room is the greatest chat room in America, maybe the world. The world is a very big claim, but maybe the world. So I call it the fantasy island of sports and guy chat, and its inhabitants are called the Stewie. Shouts out to the Stewies. So become a Stewie. Become a Stewie. All right, so a couple of things I want to hit today, man. The normal things that we do. We talk sports. We talk entertainment. Once in a while, I'll get off on a tangent and start talking about, something that has nothing to do with sports, like maybe my gangster uncles or something like that. I was talking about my Uncle Donnie a couple of days ago, for people that don't know and aren't in the Doug Stewart Show Facebook group. You need to be, first of all. You need to follow me on social media, period. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, also on Periscope, doing it real Big Willie style. And you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show. But we have a Facebook group, the Doug Stewart Show Facebook group. You need to ask to be a member of the Doug Stewart Show Facebook group. So a couple of days ago, maybe it was even yesterday. Was it yesterday? No, I think it was like 2 days ago. I got into a conversation about my Uncle Donnie and how he debowed me for my glasses, my shades, very expensive shades. And so I was looking through my phone and through my pictures, and sure enough, I had a picture of my Uncle Donnie and my Uncle Mike, his brother, at the family reunion from a couple years ago. and I posted it in the chat group on Facebook, and sure enough, people understood where I was coming from in the little story I told about Uncle Donnie. So we do all that type of stuff, man. I'll get into a story from yesteryear. And so we just have fun. It's real relaxed around here. We have a good time. Today we're going to talk a little bit about some NBA. Atlanta is it. College football playoff news, some big news for the city of Atlanta. LeBron James in that stupid-ass shirt, which we're going to get into in a second as well. Johnny's last chance is Johnny Manziel's last hurrah. We were talking about the Thursday night game tonight. College football, a big weekend in college football, a couple stories out there. A perfect fit for Miami. A perfect fit for Miami. Now, I got this conversation, this story from one of the chat groups. There's a Two Live Stews Facebook group, and also, obviously, there's a Doug Stewart Show Facebook group. And I saw this posted in one of the groups, and I was like, you know what? It's talking about a new head coach for the University of Miami. They fired Al Golden's ass a couple of weeks ago. And there's a name that makes perfect sense. And so we're going to talk about that. What else are we going to do? And take a lot of your phone calls, read a lot of your chat. That's what I do. We do birthdays. We just have a good time around here. So, man, I love the NBA. Do you have your NBA League Pass? If you don't, shame on you. You need to get that NBA League Pass. I got the NBA League Pass. So I've really been getting my NBA on over the last couple of days, first week of the season. But last night, if you saw the Knicks-Cleveland game, midway through the game, and I think it was probably even before the first half had concluded, or maybe it was early in the second half. LeBron James, he's having a tough night shooting, nothing's falling, and LeBron James just rips the freaking sleeves off his stupid-ass volleyball shirt they're making him wear. and this has been one of my pet peeves for a long, long time, is them stupid-ass volleyball shirts the NBA feels like that they can market and make money off of. And from what I've heard, young people like them. They really look stupid to me. I mean, they look dumb as hell. Like, there's no number on it. Like, last night, Cleveland's wearing these shirts, and they're not jerseys. They're wearing these shirts. I call them volleyball shirts because that's what volleyball players used to wear when I was growing up. And it doesn't have Cavs on it, Cavaliers on it. It doesn't have Cleveland on it or nothing. No damn number on the front. It's just a big-ass Cleveland C. And LeBron was tired of it. And so in the middle of the damn game, he rips the jersey. And I think this was premeditated perfectly, to be perfectly honest with you. But he rips the sleeves off, and instantly he transforms back into LeBron James. It's almost like Clark Kent Superman type thing. And Cleveland go ahead and they win the game. We'll talk more about the actual game. I want to get some conversation in about the New York Knicks. I think they're doing some good things. But he rips the jersey off. He rips the sleeves off this damn jersey or whatever. And it got me thinking. We haven't done a top 5 around here in a long time. Give me 5 things. Give me something that's just stupid in sports. Give me something that's dumb. And you know, you've heard me talk about these jerseys before because they started highlighting them on Thanksgiving. And all of the teams on Thanksgiving weekend, on that Thursday, they wearing these shirts. And the shirts look uncomfortable. LeBron says they're uncomfortable. Why would you put a professional basketball player in a volleyball jersey when they've been wearing tank top style jerseys since they were 5 years old? It makes no sense at all. But it's about money. I know why they're doing it. It's about money. Once again, the younger people supposedly like them. Nobody my age that I've talked to says that they like the jerseys. Maybe you like the jersey. The volleyball shirts. Talk about it in the chat room. So I need one more. I got 4 on my list, and we're not going to rank them in order. I don't think we'll rank them in order, but I need one more thing to put on my list as far as stupid things, dumb things in sports. And I got 4 good ones. One of them I already gave you one is the jersey. I can tell you that's part of my list right now. The new basketball, volleyball shirts. But I got 3 more. I need one more to complete my top 5 dumb things in sports. Like, what's something dumb in sports? Let's have a little fun with that today, man, on the Doug Stewart Show. I know, studio audience doesn't even like them dumbass jerseys. Or volleyball shirts, whatever you want to call them. It looks silly. It looks silly. So we'll talk about that, man. Hey, when we get back from the break, some big news as far as the college football playoffs concerning the ATL. We'll talk about that up next on the Doug Stewart Show. We'll get into some of your chat. We got birthdays coming up. Just a lot of fun. A lot of interesting things to talk about today on the show. You can still call the show old school style at 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Ooh, one other thing I forgot to mention. The Colorado Buffaloes. The 1990 Colorado Buffaloes. One of the listeners reminded me about the 30 for 30, the gospel according to Mac. I saw it last night. Phenomenal. It's perfect. On a Throwback Thursday, I want to talk about that 30 for 30 and them 90 Colorado Buffaloes. And we're going to kind of harken back a little bit, man. Very interesting stuff that came out of that episode, man, on ESPN. So we'll talk about that today on the Doug Stewart Show as well. Sports talk with hot sauce, Texas Pete hot sauce. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away. In life, things happen, good and bad. And being prepared is always important. If you're like me, a husband, a father, and protector of that family tree, then your family is the most important thing in the world. 95 million U.S. adults don't have protection in place. So, What I've done is put my protection in the hands of the largest and number one independent financial services company in North America, and that's Primerica. They look out for middle America because they believe that offering the most competitive premiums only benefits the client and have been doing so since 1977. If you're a parent, husband, or wife and want to discuss options with one of Primerica's top reps, then call my guy, Greg Wynn, at 678-439-7172. Again, that's 678-439-7172, and he'll put your family first. And hey, tell him that Doug Stewart sent you. Yes! We're doing some huge things here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, home of the Doug Stewart Show, and the biggest thing being broadcasting other shows. That's right, we're executive producing other shows and playing them on my network. You may have a fantastic show or podcast, but do you have listeners? We got listeners. Over 9,000 followers to the Doug Stewart Show on the Spreaker platform, as well as over 200,000 plus listens to the network itself. So here's what you do. Go to Fiverr.com, that's Fiverr.com, and search the Doug Stewart Show or Stewart Media and Entertainment and get all the details. Or just hit up the producer, Tree, at TreeAtTheDougStewartShow.com. That's spelled Trei. Tree@thedougstewartshow.com, and come and do business with us on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Yes!
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt. Specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
And we have a winner. Yes, sir, we have a winner. And just like I thought, I asked the Stewies for a little bit of help on this, 5 dumb things in sports, stupid things in sports, all spurned by these NBA volleyball jerseys they want these cats to wear. I looked in the chat room, and sure enough, somebody gave me a perfect one that I had forgot about. Thank you very much. My list is complete. Thank you. And I'm sure there's a lot more great ones in there, but this one is perfect. As a matter of fact, I ranked them. Let me see. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. If you're just joining me, I threw out this top 5 topic. Give me 5 things, or give me something that's dumb in sports. And usually what I do is I put them in order. I said I wouldn't put them in order, but I think I'm going to go ahead and rank these. But I saw a great one in the chat room. Thank you very much. And as a matter of fact, that one actually came in. You remember Popeye? I'm going to put that at number 2 on my list. That's right. I'm going to put the suggestion from one of the Stewies in the chat room at number 2 on my list of dumbass things in sports. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and tell you what my number 5 thing is right now, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. You already know one. You just don't know the order of it yet, the whole volleyball jersey thing. But coming in at number 5 on my list of dumbass things in sports are the Jacksonville Jaguars helmets. The new design that they painted their helmets. It looked like a freaking graffiti artist did the freaking helmets. It looked like Spit from Beach Street painted their damn helmets. That's just silly. Have some class. Have a uniform. It's like spray painted. It's spray painted like the back part is black and the front part is teal or whatever, but it's not uniform. It's not a uniform. It looked like a dude grabbed a bottle of spray paint, a can of spray paint, and sprayed it in their freaking helmets. You're pros. You'll be better than that. You ain't no kids. And I can't believe the NFL allowed that stupid helmet. Oh, I don't know, but that thing really pisses me off. And maybe some of you like it. I'm looking at the chat right now. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I'm seeing if anybody in here agrees with me or they disagree. Do you like those Jacksonville Jaguar helmets, the new ones from the last couple of years? They look stupid. Speaking of which, and this is an honorable mention, the Atlanta Hawks uniforms where they wear one color bottom and a different color top. That's stupid. It's a uniform. Be uniform. Be uniform. The Hawks in one of their earlier games, and I'm sure they probably got a lot of comments, they were wearing black pants, I think, and white tops. Who does that? That's not a uniform. That's not uniform. What the hell? Yeah, I see some people in the chat room agree with me. I hate the Hawks jerseys. What looks Atlanta about that? Nah, I actually like the black. I was cool with the blue and red and white, the red, white, and blue. They tried to change the culture, so they changed the uniform. I was okay with that. But I'm really okay with the black, yellow, and red. You know, it kind of reminds me of the red, black, and the green, you sissies. You know, that was Atlanta. So they changed to the red, white, and blue. That was cool. And now they've gone back to this, to red, black, white, and yellow. But half of the damn jerseys are like neon green. Where'd that come from? Huh? Where does neon green, and I think it's supposed to be yellow, and Oregon started all of that crap with the damn neon colors or whatever, and Atlanta's buying right into it. They're wearing neon green, supposed to be yellow, damn, in their jersey. That's horrible. Honorable mention for the ugly-ass Hawks uniforms. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Uncle Mike says, I like the Jags helmets. I hate the rest of the uniforms. The Jags helmets look real stupid to me. I don't know. That's just me. And a lot of you might disagree. I mean, this is, you have your own opinions on this show. But I really got a problem with those Jacksonville Jaguar helmets and the Atlanta Hawks uniforms. The Hawks uniforms are honorable mentions. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. ATL will host the College Football Playoff National Championship game in 2018. That's big. Followed by Santa Clara, California in 2019, and New Orleans, Louisiana in 2020. I look for any opportunity to go to New Orleans. I'm trying to think. Now, I've said it many times before. My favorite place in the world is Las Vegas, Nevada. It just is. It's just a magical, magical place. My second favorite place in this country is Miami, probably. My third favorite place in this country is probably New York City. First of all, Myrtle Beach goes before all of those. So if I had to do a top 5 places in this country, number 1 would be Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Home sweet home. Number 2 would be Vegas. Number 3 would be Miami. Number 4 would be New York City. And number 5, baby, is New Orleans, Louisiana. Yes, sir. Oh, I love New Orleans. New Orleans is kind of spooky now with all of that voodoo theme they got going on down there, but I like going to New Orleans, man. I mean, the city is a party city 24/7. What would you not like about New Orleans? So New Orleans gets us in 2020, man. This is huge, man, because I think this college football thing is only going to get bigger, bigger, and bigger, and I don't know the exact details of the contract and how long this particular format is going to be adhered to with the 4 teams. Maybe by 2019, something could change, and we could have 8 teams. And that would even, increase the excitement around the championship game even more. So I don't know about that, but the game coming to Atlanta is big. And as far as hosting events, media centers, venues, Atlanta's got to be one of the top places in the country. They have the Final Four here all the time. They won't bring a Super Bowl back to the ATL, because of that debacle or that snowstorm the last time it was here. And then Ray Lewis up in Buckhead shooting folks and whatnot, allegedly. So I don't think we're on the slate for another Super Bowl anytime soon. But Atlanta, man, we got it all. We got it going on down here. You can say what you want, but Atlanta got it going on. So we get the college football championship game in 2018. That is going to be huge. By that time, we will be playing in the new Mercedes-Benz Stadium. They got the naming rights to the new Falcon Stadium that they're building right now. That is big. That's Orca big. Congratulations to my adopted hometown, ATL, shawty. Yes, sir. And the beat goes on. The beat goes on. Fantastic. Bill Hancock, the executive director of the college football playoffs, said northern cities were ruled out because of weather concerns and will be very much in the hunt to host future games. That doesn't make any sense to me. It says they weren't ruled out. I wouldn't want to play a college football championship game in Ann Arbor, Michigan in January. I wouldn't want to do that. Yeah, that sounds pretty silly to me. Or in Minnesota. No disrespect, Vince, to your Minnesota Golden Gophers, but ain't nobody trying to go to Minnesota to see no damn college football national championship. So I don't know why. Maybe they're just saying that to appease, to keep people at ease. But nah. You got to have it in Miami. You got to have it in New Orleans. You got to have it in San Diego. The same places you would have the Super Bowl. Definitely the same places where you would have the Super Bowl. Now, domes. They have no issue with domes, evidently, because they're going to play it here in Atlanta in 2018. I'm okay with domes for Super Bowls. I would rather have it. I don't know, and I guess it's just something symbolic or something. What's the word I'm looking for? Something, it just reminds me of old school. And so if they're going to have it in northern teams, man, I think. They're saying they're going to have it at northern places. I don't think that's a good idea, but we'll see. We'll keep our eyes on that. But ATL does get a national championship game in 2018. Good stuff for the A. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@theDougStewartShow.com. Let me quickly read a couple of chat messages here from 90 the Rhino. Speaking of Ray Lewis, heard him on NPR this morning promoting his new book. Sounds like a good read. Yeah, Ray Lewis, I've always said, you talk about a candidate to be a preacher. One thing about Ray Lewis, he's over the top and always preaching and screaming at people and acting like he's Vince Lombardi out this bitch. But I do believe Ray Lewis, everything that he does and the way that he acts, he's sincere. That's who he is. A lot of other people try to be leaders and scream at you or whatever. And you're like, man, you fake as hell. Go sit your ass down somewhere. But Ray Lewis, I just think that's who he is. Very, emotional guy. Motivates his teammates, has done that throughout his career in the NFL. And a lot of times he says things with a lot of substance. Sometimes he says some things I'm like, dude, go sit your ass down somewhere. But I do believe Ray Lewis, the person that we see screaming at folks and always preaching, is just that. And I do believe dude probably will be a preacher at some point down the road. He probably going to find God and be a preacher. From Andre Elam, McGarity is going to show you if he loses this Saturday to Kentucky, and it's Thursday, he hasn't named a starting quarterback. Oh, yeah, Georgia takes on Kentucky this weekend in Athens. If the Georgia Bulldogs lose to Kentucky at home in Athens with old Fatan Bata as the quarterback, or even Grayson Lambert, whoever they put out there, I think Mark Richt's time on the top is short like leprechauns. Like this could be that pivotal game that does end Mark Richt forever and ever and ever. But he kind of plays into the conversation I want to have a little bit later. So stay tuned for that. All right, when we get back from the break, man, NBA talk from last night, man. I am all into the association, man. I just got to be honest with you. I watched the Knicks and the Cavs. Watch the Warriors and the Clippers, at least the first half of it, man. We'll talk a little basketball when we get back. And some of my observations, and we'll read your chat. We'll get to your birthdays. We'll do all of that coming up next on The Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away. We're back. The Two Live Stews are back on air every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on WGST. It's Sports Talk with Hot Sauce. Special thanks to our sponsor, Bruce Hagen at Hagen-Law.com for making it happen.
640 WGST in Atlanta. Search 640 WGST on iHeartRadio worldwide.
Yes! In life, things happen, good and bad. And being prepared is always important. If you're like me, a husband, a father, and protector of that family tree, then your family is the most important thing in the world. 95 million U.S. adults don't have protection in place. So, what I've done is put my protection in the hands of the largest and number one independent financial services company in North America, and that's Primerica. They look out for middle America because they believe that offering the most competitive premiums only benefits the client and have been doing so since 1977. If you're a parent, husband, or wife and want to discuss options with one of Primerica's top reps, then call my guy, Greg Wynn, at 678-439-7172. Again, that's 678-439-7172, and he'll put your family first. And hey, tell him that Doug Stewart sent you. Yes! Do you have your own radio show? Are you an artist or a DJ? BB Mobile Apps is the solution for you. They specialize in creating mobile apps for entertainers. That's right. You can have your own mobile app where your followers can hear your shows or music, watch your videos, and view all your social networks in one place. You can even make money with banner ads and send push notifications directly to your audience to make sure they get your messages. Everyone has their phones on them, right? A mobile app will add credibility to your brand because your content will be accessible to them while they're on the go. BB Mobile Apps also makes apps for bloggers, actors, and producers. The process only takes about 20 minutes. Just go to bbmobileapps.com and click Get Started Now. That's bbmobileapps.com and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you.
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt, specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975 and work it out.
If you're not stewing, what the hell are you doing? This is the Doug Stewart Show. Throwback Thursday, November 5th, 2015. You can give me a call at 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Have you gotten your The Doug Stewart Show t-shirt? If you haven't, man, shame on you. Go to thedougstewartshow.com and click on the donate button to the top right. You'll see it. If you donate $20 or more, man, we'll send you your very own The Doug Stewart Show t-shirt. Real nice conversation starter, to say the least. So that's thedougstewartshow.com, $20 or more, and we will send you a t-shirt. All right. Also, we're doing some big things on Fiverr.com. That's Fiverr.com. We're doing voiceovers. I did one yesterday. I do a great urban male voice. I do a perfect urban male voice. That's what they call it, urban. Tree does voiceovers as well. Speaking of which, Tree isn't here today, the producer to the show. For the new people, she produces the Doug Stewart Show. But So she's not here today. But she does voiceovers as well. She's a pro actually at it. We also advertise on social media. You can get a 60-second ad starting at just $5. And the big thing we're doing is we are broadcasting other shows on the network, like the Kicking It with Kesey show and the Poe Politicking show. And this new thing we're doing, man, we're doing promotional interviews / infomercials. You have a product, a brand, a company that you want to get out there to the masses. When I say masses, we have close to 10,000 followers to the network, well over 300,000 listens to the network. So we can give you a great platform. Also, you can use it as a marketing tool down the road. This is the cool thing about the infomercial. Let me explain it to y'all. We also purchase you a URL, which is a web address name. So say if you were selling, coconuts. We get you some name, some short, cute name, so-and-so coconuts. And when you meet people in the street, possible patrons or customers to your company, you give them the URL, the web address. They go there, and your interview is logged on to the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, where they can hear your interview, and you can talk about your product, your company, your brand, or whatever that may be. So it's a very cool thing, very cool product, man, we're offering here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. So check us out. Go to Fiverr.com, or you can just email me at Doug@theDougStewartShow.com for more details. Yes, sir. So top 5 dumb things in sports. Number 5 on my list was the Jacksonville Jaguar helmets / Atlanta Hawks uniforms, not matching uniforms. That's not uniform at all. Number 4 on my list, man, is Friday night college football. And once again, a lot of these things come down to money. But I'm so much of a traditionalist in a lot of the things that I take in that it really it's not just dumb, in my opinion. It's very disrespectful. I guess it's technically not dumb. It's just very disrespectful to the institution of college football. Now, if you're from somewhere else, maybe you don't feel the same way. Maybe you don't care. Maybe if you're from the Northeast, from Connecticut or Delaware or somebody like a place like that, you don't care. But down here in the South, high school football is an institution. And for college football to just impede upon their territory, man, on a Friday night and air these games on Friday night is very, very disrespectful. And I think it's dumb. And it's disrespectful. So I don't like that at all. I guess these things are kind of like things I don't like. Maybe they're not dumb, because clearly college football and ESPN, the networks that air these games on Friday night, they've seen some type of study that says that they can make money and that people will watch. That's fine. It's disrespectful, and I don't like it. So these are things I don't like. Matter of fact, we can rename the damn top 5 today, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. The top 5 things I don't like in sports. Yes, sir. And I'm going to read more of your chat here in a second. Birthdays today. Let's get these out the way. Meredith Foster, web video star. I don't even know who the hell she is. Remember I told you yesterday they rank the stars on these birthdays on this list that we look at. And this chick is a web video star. I didn't know you could become a star by being a web video star, but evidently you can. But number 2 is Odell Beckham Jr. He turns 23 years old today. One of the best young receivers in football, in the history of football, young receivers. Happy birthday to him. He's 23 years old, New York Giant wide receiver. Kris Jenner, the chick that engineered this whole fiasco-type crazy story with Lamar Odom and her crazy-ass daughters, turns 60 today. She liked the swirl, though. Them Kardashians love the swirl. They do. They do. Celebrating a birthday today as well is Bubba Watson. He turns 37 years old today. Happy birthday to Bubba Watson. I like old Bubba. Button his shirts up to the top. And O.J. Mayo is 28 years old today. Happy birthday to O.J. Mayo. My man Seth Gilliam is 47 years old today. You know who that is? Seth Gilliam played Ellis on The Wire. And he also plays the preacher on The Walking Dead. I don't know what his character's name is on The Walking Dead. Speaking of which, I haven't seen any of the newest season of The Walking Dead. I got them all on DVR, but I haven't seen any of them yet. Can't wait to start looking at that. I'm just so backed up for time. Hadn't had a chance to look at a couple of my shows on DVR. I actually watched The Gospel of Mac last night, which was fantastic. We will talk about that a little bit later today. But those pretty much are your birthdays today. If he had lived past 2007, Ike Turner would have had a birthday today. Oh, Ike. Sing a song, Tina. Sing a song, Tina. Yes, sir. Ike Turner been dead for 8 years. I didn't realize he's been dead that long, man. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. Last night, man, in the association, the Wizards got a big win over the Spurs, 102-99. The Wizards are 3-1. Now, they got a squad. I don't know if they'll ever be able to take that next step while LeBron James is still in the league right now. But if you look at the Wizards squad, man, they got a nice squad. They got players in the inside. They got, obviously, John Wall at the point guard position, man. They actually played great last year in the playoffs, but just fell a little bit short. But they get a big win. I would call any win over the San Antonio Spurs a big win. 102-99. The Hawks win last night, 101-87. They've won 6 games in a row against the Brooklyn Nets, beating them 101-87. Don't look now. The Hawks have won their last 5 games in a row. Ball award to them on a Thursday. Al Horford, big night, 21-8-4. Big ups to him. The Philadelphia 76ers go down to the Milwaukee Bucks 91-87. Here's a story about this, man, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Your boy Jahlil Okafor, 21 points, 6 boards, 2 blocks for Jahlil Okafor last night. And you know where this is going. You know where this is going. Jahlil Okafor in 6 games or 5 games with the Philadelphia 76ers has scored over 21 points 3 times. In 30 minutes, he scored 21 points against the Bucks last night, as I mentioned. He scored 24 against Cleveland. He scored 26 against Boston, and he also had 10. He had a low point total against the Utah Jazz where he scored 10 in a blowout loss, and the 76ers are 0-6, 0-5. But the point is, Jahlil Okafor, man, is the real deal. And the Atlanta Hawks or the Los Angeles Lakers passed up on Jahlil Okafor for D'Angelo Russell. Let's just move on. Big game last night. The Golden State Warriors 112-108 over the Clippers. I don't know how long this is going to be a theme, man, but these Ninjas might not lose a game this year. I mean, for real. 112-108, pretty good game by the Clippers. Clippers are 4-1, Warriors 5-0. But Steph Curry, once again, man, he's unstoppable. 31 points, 5 boards, 4 assists last night for Steph Curry. He is a man amongst boys. And he's the one out there that looks most like a little boy. But look what Steph Curry has done in the 5 games that the Golden State Warriors have had. This man went for 31 last night, just talked about that. 30 against Memphis, 53 points against New Orleans, 25 against Houston, and 40 points against the New Orleans Pelicans. Ball award to Steph Curry on a Thursday. Why not? Man, he's fun to watch. And the big game last night, the game that was on ESPN on the Puppet Factory, was the Cavaliers come back and they beat the Knicks 96-86. I say come back. I think the Knicks were up in this game early in the first half by like 13 points. This is just the first half. Everybody makes runs in the NBA, though. You know that. Mo Williams, 22 points, 6 boards, 4 assists. Carmelo, 17, 12, and 4. One interesting thing about this game that I realized in watching the Knicks last night for the first time, really, is the Porzingis kid, he can play. Yeah. He went over the back of somebody last night and dunked. So that's the big thing about those foreign players. Are their mentality, and are they aggressive enough? It seems like the foreign basketball play is a lot more loose. They give you a lot of free range to go and take your shots or whatever, and it's more rough and tough in the NBA. Porzingis mixes it up, man. He had 13 points last night. He's been doing good the whole year long. Phil Jackson, man, him with Darian Grant, Horace Grant's little boy. Those 2 nice picks. They're both contributing big time early in the season, man. Phil Jackson, I hate to even say this. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show because I'm a Nick hater. And Vern listens to the show. I know he's happy as a lark in the spring. But the Porzingis kid is going to work. The Jerian Grant kid is going to work. Now they're talking about moving Carmelo and just really building to the future and making Porzingis more of a role or giving him a bigger role with the team, even though he's a rookie. All right, when we get back from the break, man, this is the Doug Stewart Show. When we get back from the break, man, I want to talk a little bit about something I saw last night. As a matter of fact, I'm going to wait to talk about that. I want to talk about a great fit for a coach and a college football team. A perfect fit. You might not think that I would think this is a perfect fit, but it actually is. We'll talk about that when we get back from the break. We're going to talk about the Colorado Buffaloes from the 1990 team that won a national championship or shared a national championship. We'll talk about them later today as well. Just a lot of fun. I'm going to get to some of your chat here in a second, too, here on the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away. Your season-long fantasy football lineup is locked in and ready for action, but you don't have to wait until Week 16 to get paid. Put your fantasy skills to the test starting Sunday at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site, where you could kick the season off by winning $2 million. It's the biggest fantasy football contest ever. $10 million in prizes are up for grabs, including $2 million for first place and $1 million for second. 1 week fantasy means no season-long commitments. It's fantasy football on demand. Play where you want, when you want, with the players you want, and turn your love of football into a life-changing payday. Just pick your players, pile up the points, and pick up your cash. That's it. You've never experienced football like this. This isn't fantasy as usual. This is DraftKings. Welcome to the big time. Hurry to DraftKings.com now and use promo code Spreaker to play for free for a shot at part of $10 million in Sunday's Millionaire Maker event. Enter Spreaker for free entry now only at DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com.
The best of the Doug Stewart Show.
To give you the history on this Doug Stewart and Tree Taylor battle in Trivia Crack. We just started playing last week. We played 3 games. I won the first one in handily fashion. And then Tree has come along to beat me 2 times in a row. All right. Now, I blame Trivia Crack for asking me dumbass questions about romance comedies from the 1980s. That's who I blame. But she's won. And I got to give her credit. What? I knew you were going to jump.
Like, when you talk about women, Tree has come along.
It ain't got nothing to do with you being a woman.
No, I showed up.
Oh, wait. Did you just... What? Oh, my gosh. Did she just call me the N-word? Oh, damn. We made Doug Stewart Show history just now. As many times as I've almost uttered that term, you did it! And we don't have 7-second delay.
I'm fired.
You getting the BPA. You nominated for a Boiled Penis Award.
No!
Yes, you are. The first time in the Doug Stewart Show history, someone utters the N-word.
I'm sick of you.
You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Good thing we, on radio, traditional radio, the FCC be beating down my damn door right now. They're already looking for a reason to try to put me out of business. And you come up with this. Golly, True. You're better than that.
That girl is poison. You never trust a big button to smile.
Stewies, what's up? Tree here to talk about your home security and the security experts at Strickland Security. Everything the team at Strickland Security does is focused around increasing the security of your home, protecting your family, and your business. Most home security companies, especially the larger ones, want to sell you a cookie-cutter alarm system that maximizes their profits but not your security. The team at Strickland Security will install a customized alarm system that meets your budget and your security needs. This Atlanta-based company is here to solve all of your security problems. Whether you need your alarm system repaired, surveillance cameras installed, or your door locks replaced, Strickland Security is the solution. Don't wait. Call the experts at Strickland Security today. For more information, go to their website at stricklandsecurity.com or give them a call now at 800-422-9075. That's 800-422-9075 and tell them Tree sent you.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Shouts out to all of the Stewies out there. Thank you for tuning in, man. Thank you for being interactive in the chat room on Spreaker.com. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. As I mentioned before we went to a break, a great fit, and I didn't even think of this, and somebody posted it in the Doug Stewart Show chat room or in the I think it might have even been the 2 Hour Stews chat room. But there was a story that someone posted, a link to a story from, what's the name of this thing here? stateoftheu.com. stateoftheu.com. So it's one of those fan pages, blog type things. And this guy, Jerry Steinberg, wrote this article. And the title of the article is, Why Mark Richt should be the next Miami Hurricanes football coach. And before I even read any of the details of the story, I said to myself, that makes perfect sense because I know Mark Richt played football. He played quarterback at the University of Miami back in the day. I think he actually was the backup quarterback to Jim Kelly or something like that. He was the assistant coach at Florida State for many, many years. He was the offensive coordinator when Charlie Ward was there. So that just lends itself to the fact that he'd be a great recruiter in the state of Florida, probably already has a lot of ties. Well, hell, he gets players from Florida all the time. Sony Michel's from Florida, just the first name off the top of my mind. But maybe right now, you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I think this year in particular has felt more like a possibility where Mark Richt and the University of Georgia could part ways. Whether they were to fire him, I doubt they would do that. Or maybe he would just say, like a lot of these coaches say, it's just time to leave. What he's preaching isn't getting through to the kids. And Miami is in a position where they need a good coach. I've never said Mark Richt isn't a good coach. And Mark Richt and the people he hires, the recruiters that he hires, get the best talent. Georgia has had the best talent in Athens, man, since Mark Richt has been there. Or some of the best talent at the University of Georgia in college football year in and year out. And you always see it. They got these guys, these 4 or 5-star recruits, and they get to the NFL and they ball out of control. Like they don't do that well. They do great in college, but they just get to the NFL and they're just stupendous. So Mark Richt can recruit. So what do they need at the University of Miami? They need a new voice. They need somebody that can walk into a living room and convince a parent to let their kid come to the University of Miami, which is kind of in disarray right now. They can get those South Florida kids. He has a relationship, once again, with a lot of the schools, the high schools in the state of Florida. Coached at Florida State, played at Miami. It's a perfect fit. Now, will it happen? It might just be pie in the sky. It might just be sports talk radio fodder. I don't know. But I think it would be a great, great move if Miami could get him. And it'd probably be a great thing for Mark Richt to start fresh somewhere in a place that he already has alliances. And you know the athletes they got in Florida. I mean, it'd be a great fit for him. It'd be a great fit for everybody. It's a win-win for everybody. Mark Richt to Miami. What do y'all think about that? 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. When I saw that, I was like, man, that's a pretty damn good idea. It would be perfect, actually. And then Georgia could move on, man. Once again, no disrespect to Mark Richt. Fantastic person. I said this yesterday, but you always got to throw out disclaimers when you talk about a very good person, because you don't want people to get it twisted. Never said Mark Richt wasn't a great coach. Never said what he's done for the University of Georgia throughout these last 15 years or so hadn't been phenomenal. Maybe phenomenal is not the right word. Hadn't been very good. Phenomenal would mean a couple of national championships, okay? Great person from what I understand, people that know him. Man of character, godly man. But right now, for many, many years, really, it just hadn't worked. Hadn't translated into a championship. And I think that's what it's all about, is winning championships. You got to get a different voice in there. You just got to get a different voice in there. If they lose to Kentucky this weekend at home, as I said at the top of the show, then you're really going to hear rumblings about a separation, a parting of ways between Mark Richt and the Georgia Bulldogs. Something amicable. It won't be, like I said a couple of seconds ago, I don't think that they just straight out fire him. He's just done too much. They'd have one of those meetings behind closed doors, him and McGarity, the athletic director, and Coach, don't you think it's time for you to move on? And then Mark Richt could be like, you know what, you're right. Kind of like the same thing with Steve Spurrier, but not as bad as Steve Spurrier quitting in the middle of the season, where they come together and they're like, yeah, it's time to move on. I mean, I've done all I could do here. I haven't gotten the ultimate goal, which is a championship, but we've done a lot of great things here, and you're right. I think it's time for me to move on and maybe Georgia try something different. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And then he'd have a job if he wanted to. I think a perfect fit would be the University of Miami. What do y'all think about that? From Clay Davis's sheet advisor, he says Rick needs to go to the UCF, not Miami. Well, I mean, any place Mark Richt goes to, he would be a good coach, And if you go to a place that has better recruiting grounds, and, let's just be honest, the state of Florida has the best athletes in college football historically for the last 25 years. He could probably go to UCF and do some great things, but, I mean, he played at Miami. He went to school down there, I'm assuming, for 4 years. He knows the territory. They get Miami gets better players than UCF. But, yeah, if he go to UCF, he probably could do some big things there. From Cleo72, any old man that has his shirt open showing his thin chain is a killer. I think you're talking about my uncle. Hey, man, don't be talking about my uncle like that. Yeah, the picture that I posted in the Facebook group, Uncle Donnie had on a sweater vest, no shirt on at all under it. It was like V-neck, and he had a little gold chain, and he had one of the Dick Tracy hats, one of the big brims that, Run DMC used to wear. That's just how he rolled. Him and my Uncle Donnie, Uncle Mike. That's just how they roll, man. Don't be talking about my uncle like that. From KC, Georgia got the money to pay Richt off. They just like him, or he got pictures or somebody. I don't think Mark Richt has pictures on anybody. I don't think Mark Richt gets down like that, from what I've heard. But it's been very odd to me that with all the big games that Georgia has lost in prime time for the world to see, that they continue to stick by him. All right, when we get back from the break, man, hour number 2 of the Doug Stewart Show. When we get back, man, I'm going to tell you who's number 3 or what's number 3 on my list of things I just don't like in sports. Quasi or slash stupid things in sports. Kind of like them jerseys. We'll continue that list. And I want to talk about Thursday Night Football tonight. Johnny Manziel. Could this be his last chance? Could this be Johnny Football's last chance at romance? Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU.
The best of the Doug Stewart Show.
Let me read more of this chat before I get out of here. Oh, my gosh. Okay, my man K3000. Yeah. If you're new to the show, K3000, he's kind of long-winded. We love him, though. So I guess this is why Tree's playing this music in the background. He says, Dougie, I feel you. People love making fun of people when they get caught doing something semi-wrong, like receiving extra like free shrimp. But they don't realize that a lot of these guys are effing starving and that they're effing restricted from even signing their name for gain. You give me a damn scholarship and I'm supposed to sign over all my damn rights, all my money-making potential. And if I don't comply, then you blackball me so that I can't make it to the next level to actually receive a check. GTFOH, he did a bunch of GTFOHs. CSI, this is the ish. I'm pissed off about too. That's like dude from Ohio State that actually went to court to get the rule changed and then got blackballed and lost that life. GTFOH, a lot of them. I'm totally with you, Dougie. I'm totally with you. Thank you, K3000. I'm with me too. From sporting events, concerts, and plays, Gistix has the best tickets for them all. The owner, a veteran and military spouse, founded the company set on delivering affordable prices for all the top events. Also, they sell 100% authentic signed memorabilia and quality fan merchandise. It's a one-stop shop for fans. Gistix was founded in 2014 by 4 fun people with military and DoD backgrounds that are fans of everything entertainment. They work hard at helping fans like us discover tickets for live entertainment at a great price, providing hard-to-find authentic sports items and merchandise. And they offer Easter eggs that give fans additional opportunities to purchase unique items. Active and non-military members receive an additional discount on event tickets and fan merchandise items as a thank you for your service. Again, Gistix is founded by fans, and they listen to other fans to understand the importance of service, price, and quality across the board for entertainment, memorabilia, and merchandise. Check them out at Gistix.com, spelled Gistix.com. Again, Gistix.com. That's Gistix.com. Hour number 2, baby. Yes, sir. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. What up, Stewies? Talked some NBA a little bit earlier. Atlanta Hawks doing great. LeBron James in that stupid volleyball shirt the NBA wants him to wear. I posted last night in the on my Facebook or Twitter or something like that. I think it was Twitter. That the second LeBron James ripped that stupid-ass shirt off his shoulder, I'm sure marketing executives for the NBA were jumping out of the windows to their death. because he's totally sabotaging that whole campaign. And, I mean, they've been pushing it for the last couple of years. They've been pushing these volleyball shirts. So can you imagine being in the marketing department of the NBA, and y'all been pushing the hell out of these volleyball shirts, and your best player in the league, your most renowned player of the league, the face of the league, rips this stupid shirt off of his body because he doesn't like it so much. I mean, that's an indictment amongst indictments. I mean, it's just crazy. So I know they didn't like that at all. I'm sure he's probably going to get a fine. I hadn't read where he's going to get a fine or he's been fined yet, but I'm sure he's going to get some type of fine. LeBron was running out there with a torn-up shirt. In a professional game on national TV. The man ripped his shirt on purpose because it bothered him so much. That was funny to me, man. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Let me grab a call, man. Hour number 2 of the Doug Stewart Show. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? What you want to talk about?
Doug Stewart, what's happening?
What's up? Who's this?
T from Huntsville, sir.
T from Huntsville. What up, baby?
Oh, man, enjoying the show as always, sir. I wanted to get in on the top 5 things I don't like in sports.
Ooh, I can't wait for this. So T's going to give us his top 5 things he doesn't like in sports. Go ahead, T.
All right, man. At number 5, I can't stand those stupid-ass regular season games overseas. There's no reason the NFL should be being played in London and Budapest or wherever the hell else you got them at. I mean, it's our sport. You know what I'm saying? It's our sport. Number 2, they claim to be worried about the players and their health, but you're sending them overseas to play a damn game. How can that be helpful?
Right. Your schedule gets all screwed up, man. You don't have the time to recover. Yeah, that's the biggest thing about it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you're not worried about their interests. You're worried about making money.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can stop at the over the top. You know, we're worried about the players. You're worried about your image, and you're worried about making that bottom line, that bottom dollar. At number 4, I can't stand that BS one-sided don't hit an offensive player rules they got in the NFL now. Can't touch a quarterback. If a receiver's trying to catch a ball, even in the end zone, if you pop them, you know what I'm saying, and you get anywhere near them, they just might throw a flag on you.
Yeah.
Now they've improved a little bit to where if you just get to the shoulder pad and pop them, they're starting to let that go. But even if you hit them legally really hard, if he lays on the ground and waddles a little bit, they'll throw a flag, give him another set of downs. I mean, it's just another way to, let people score more points. It has nothing to do with the game of football.
I agree,
Number
man.
3,
I agree wholeheartedly. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that one, T.
Yeah, I can't stand that, man. At number 3, and this is really getting bad this year, I hate that dumbass targeting rule in college because all it seems to be is a way to get certain players kicked out of the game. And some of the calls, they make, some of the hits, that they call it on aren't even vicious. Simple football hits where they might have grazed them a little bit. And they call targeting, and then they got to sit there and wait to see if they're going to be thrown out of the game.
Yeah, the whole targeting thing, and kind of tying into the one right before you gave, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show.
Yeah.
I don't understand what they want the defensive player to do. They're trying to make a play. They're trying to dislodge the ball from the receiver. So in effect, you're saying that you should let them catch the ball. If the guy's not in a position to make a move or defend himself, then we should just let him catch the ball? That doesn't make sense. That's not football.
Exactly, and that's what they're doing. Let them score. We're trying to get more points. And, you're crippling a defensive player, man, but, that's why they don't talk about defense because they cut into it. At number 2, something else I hate in football, cut blocking and people that dive at knees.
Yeah.
The fact that there's no rule for that, that's worse than any head hit unless somebody's, truly jumping into somebody's head. Because you're messing with somebody's career at that point.
Yeah.
So I can't stand people that jump at knees, especially when it's unnecessary. And a lot of offensive linemen and defensive linemen sometimes do that. And I think my man from Ohio State, he's the one that jumped in Dante Culpepper's knee and messed up his career. And I hate to see players do that, man. It's a coward-ass move. And if you're worried about player safety and you're going to regulate something, regulate that.
Yeah, but you know what, T? They've almost forced these defensive players to go low on cats because of all of the controversy around CTE and concussions. They're more scared of the concussion conversation and lawsuits than they are about the knee lawsuits and guys ending their career, which is really sad. You're exactly right.
Yeah, you're right, and that's why they're doing it. You're 100% right. That's exactly what it is, and they're forcing them to jump on knees. The only place you got to hit somebody is on their hip, their ribs, or into their shoulder pads. And if you're not in a position to do that, you're subject to get fined and they'll take out of the game.
Yeah.
And man, the number one thing I can't stand in sports, and this thing right here causes a lot of other problems. The full-letter network pushing agendas instead of reporting the damn news. Now, because they do this, you got to deal with people that don't understand sports, falling for that and regurgitating it, and it causes a lot of confusion. Quick example, RG3 and Kaepernick, they are the people that they're going after this year. They're getting at them, talking about the seasons, how they're playing poorly. Detroit's 1-7, Kansas City 3-5, Chicago's 2-5, San Diego's 2-6. Nobody's saying nothing about those teams. And all those quarterbacks that have been there for years and have had time to get their things together.
Yeah.
These guys haven't even had time yet. That's an agenda right there. something else is going on is Mr. Manziel is playing tonight. This man had a domestic incident in a car where onlookers saw it, called the police. I believe he was intoxicated. No story, no witch hunt, no suspension. Now, he was drunk. That's something that the people hate. He hit a woman. Now, we know the NFL hates domestic violence. I haven't heard one domestic violent women's group say something. I haven't heard the NFL say anything. So it's not about the act. It's about the person. It's not about the act. It's about the person. Double standard. And it's just the same old BS at the end of the day, man. That's why I can't stand the media. They ruin sports, and they ruin it for people that are too dumb to understand what's going on. I'm gone.
Appreciate the call, T. T called 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@thedougshow.com. See, T's top 5 things he hates in sports are more serious than mine. But he spoke some knowledge just now. And this whole Johnny Manziel thing is very interesting. And we really haven't talked about it a lot here because it's not really a story. It's not being reported as big of a story as it probably should be. Johnny Manziel's old lady said that he hit her. I mean, usually that's all that it takes to be charged with something. That's all that it takes for the NFL to suspend your ass. I don't know why, and I haven't been able to find out why the NFL has been so quiet on this Johnny Manziel abuse allegation. I don't know. I can't figure it out why. Now, I don't know if it's totally nefarious that the NFL is trying to protect Johnny Manziel or something, because the NFL, they take their opportunities, or not the NFL, the media take their opportunities to kind of drag Johnny Manziel in the media. Like, he gets his fair share of bad press. So I don't know, but he makes a very valid point. You know, this whole Greg Hardy thing. These were accusations. Now, maybe it has something to do with the different state laws or whatever, and the depth of the evidence against Johnny Manziel, but sounds very similar to me. There was accusations made by Greg Hardy from a woman against Greg Hardy. He was arrested. He had these trials. He's been cut from his team, suspended by the NFL. Johnny Manziel's old lady said that he hit her. What? Why do we not hear anything about it? Very, very interesting. Like Arsenio said, things that make you go, 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. From Sluggo, targeting rule is absolutely horrendous. Then replay the ish and let it stand. F out of here. From Loose Neck Side, T in his top 5 ready, says August, he preaches straight knowledge. Yes, sir. From Thorny Switch, true, JB, but you guys historically make moves. I remember how you told Ron Zook to kick rocks. Laugh out loud. What are they talking about, the Florida Gators? So, yeah, man, when we get back from the break, I'm going to give you number 2 on my list of stupid things, things that I don't like in sports, as well as dumb things, in my opinion, in sports. And, man, I've been talking about it all morning. Last night, my DVR is full, but I got the chance to watch The Gospel According to Mac. Crazy, crazy story. Bill McCartney. If you grew up during that era, if you remember that time, 1990 is my wheelhouse. When the Colorado Buffaloes came onto the scene, man, and started winning football games. Very interesting story, man. We'll kind of relive that a little bit and talk about it when we get back. Read more of your chat. Do what we do here on the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away. This is your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-File, prescription savings, and fully encompassed prepaid legal benefits that include identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedougsstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7.
The best of the Doug Stewart Show.
Vegas, I believe, is the only state, or Nevada is the only state where they have legalized prostitution in these whorehouses, and they call them brothels, and it's not in the city limits of Vegas in that particular county. It's like the next county over, and I've just heard all of this on the street. I just heard about this, but this is how it actually is. So, like, one county over, if you drive, and I think this story said it's like 70 miles where Lamar Odom was found. This next county over, they have legalized whorehouses. The technical term is brothels. Yes, Tree.
I mean, I'm going to say something that may surprise you. To be honest with you, like, they need to legalize it everywhere because...
Whoa. Wait a minute, Aunt Esther.
No. This is real talk here.
Okay.
The government has no business telling people where they can fling their cat, get their vitamin D. It's not up to the government to decide that. So while I wouldn't choose that as my lifestyle, shout out to Nevada for understanding that that's that woman's body.
Yeah.
And she can do what she wants with it.
In theory, I 100% agree with you. I didn't know we were going to start this social conversation on whores and whorehouses in America, but I agree with you, Tree.
I'm telling you, just stop it, government, and legalize the kitty.
Legalize? Wait a minute. I think we got a new moniker now for the show. Legalize the kitty.
Sports talk. Straight, no chaser.
Do you have your own radio show? Are you an artist or a DJ? BB Mobile Apps is the solution for you. They specialize in creating mobile apps for entertainers. That's right. You can have your own mobile app where your followers can hear your shows or music, watch your videos, and view all your social networks in one place. You can even make money with banner ads and send push notifications directly to your audience to make sure they get your messages. Everyone has their phones on them, right? A mobile app will add credibility to your brand because your content will be accessible to them while they're on the go. BB Mobile Apps also makes apps for bloggers, actors, and producers. The process only takes about 20 minutes. Just go to bbmobileapps.com and click Get Started Now. That's bbmobileapps.com and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you. We're doing some huge things here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, home of the Doug Stewart Show, and the biggest thing being broadcasting other shows. That's right, we're executive producing other shows and playing them on my network. You may have a fantastic show or podcast, but do you have listeners? We got listeners. Over 9,000 followers to the Doug Stewart Show on the Spreaker platform, as well as over 200,000 plus listens to the network itself. So here's what you do. Go to Fiverr.com, that's Fiverr.com, and search the Doug Stewart Show or Stewart Media and Entertainment and get all the details. Or just hit up the producer, Tree at TreeAtTheDougStewartShow.com. That's spelled Trei. Tree at TheDougStewartShow.com, and come and do business with us on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Yes! Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Throwback Thursday. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. This segment is brought to you by my folks from BV Mobile Apps. Are you an entertainer? Do you need an app? Are you a DJ, have a podcast or something like that? Holla at my folks at BV Mobile Apps. That's Boy Victory Mobile Apps, BV. They use the acronym, bvmobileapps.com. They specialize in apps for entertainers. So, it's 2015. You're an entertainer. You got this product out there, but you have to be online. You have to have an app presence in 2015. They'll make you look just as big as some of the biggest companies in the world at BV Mobile Apps. So go online at bvmobileapps.com and holler at them and let them know that the Doug Stewart Show sent you. We've been talking about, and I'm going to get to the gospel according to Mac here in a second. We've been talking about top 5 things that I hate in sports, and it all came from the volleyball jerseys that the NBA is trying to make these guys wear so they can market them and make money off of them, whatever. And LeBron tore the sleeves off of his last night. He was so pissed off at the darn shirts. So I've been giving you my list. Number 5 on my list is Jacksonville Jaguars helmets. I think they look very stupid. Number 4 is Friday night college football. It just seems very disrespectful. sacrilegious to play college football on Friday night. Friday nights are for high school football. Number 3, shirts in the NBA. We talked about that. That's the reason for the conversation. That comes in at number 3 on my list. Coming in at number 2 on my list, man, I'm just going to read the post from my man Corey from the chat room today on the Doug Stewart Show. The fact that one of my teammates did something you didn't like and you hit me with a baseball. For the life of me, man, I don't know how this continues to this day. I am shocked, first of all, and you've seen a couple of cats get hit with baseballs before because their teammate, flipped the bat after a home run, or their teammate didn't trot around the bases fast enough. Something stupid. It's beyond me that somebody hadn't get hit over the head or gotten hit over the head with a baseball bat in retaliation because you hit me with a damn baseball because of something my teammate did. One of the stupidest things, one of the most unexplainable things in the history of sports. And if you ever been hit with a baseball, okay, it doesn't feel good. It's stupid. It's dangerous. You can kill somebody. And maybe I guess there hasn't been anybody killed with a baseball yet because they got hit with a baseball because of retaliation or something one of their teammates did. Maybe there has been. But I don't want to be the first one. You throwing a hard-ass baseball at me 90 miles per hour? Nah, that ain't cool. At that point, all bets are off. All bets are off. I don't care about no tradition. I don't care about how things have been done in baseball, in the sport for 100 years. You hit me with a baseball. A hard-ass little baseball. You hit me with a baseball, it's a real problem. So that comes in at number 2 on my list, man. Just dumb. And stupid. And disrespectful. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. 404-382-0338. So I've been talking about it all day, man. The gospel according to Mac. I always rail on ESPN and the Puppet Factory. I call them the Puppet Factory. But one thing they do right, man, I'm a huge fan of. They do a lot of things right. But one thing they definitely do right, man, is these little 30 for 30 documentaries, man. Baller Award, man, to Jim Podhortz, the director of The Gospel According to Mac. And see, a lot of times, it all depends on what the topic is and can you relate to it. And so 1990, you got to remember, 1990 is my freshman year at South Carolina State College, 89-90 year. That's when you had Georgia Tech, who was a co-national championship with Colorado. And Colorado was kind of cool because, let me think. I think Colorado might be the first team of prominence that kind of got everybody on the trend of wearing these black uniforms. Okay, I know it was the Raiders in the NFL. They had to be first. But then, as far as college, the next team was Colorado. Then everybody and their mama got a black uniform in their closet now in college football and the pros as well. But they were cool. They had the cool uniforms. They played in Colorado. And, man, when I looked at this thing last night, it kind of reminded me of some of the great players. Like Colorado, that 90 team, that 89-90 team, that couple of years, they had some ballers. Darian Hagan, Charles Johnson played quarterback. Mike Pritchard. People forget about Mike Pritchard. Mike Pritchard was a beast. Mike Pritchard was basically he was like the Colorado version of the Rocket, of Rocket Ismail. And they talked about him last night in the national championship game between Colorado and Notre Dame, in which they won. Eric Public Bieniemy, frat, little 5'6" running back, but he was a beast. Bieniemy wore number 1. Who else did you have? You had Chad. I forgot about Chad Brown. Played on that team. Many years played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Baller, running back. They also had Deion Figures. Remember Deion Figures? He had the 2 hoop in his ears. He played defensive back for many years in the NFL as well. Who else did they have? They talked about Alfred Williams, defensive end. They had some ballers. One thing that came out of this episode last night. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Well, first, let me back up. The story, the actual episode, was based around the whole story about head coach Bill McCartney and the fact that he built this program from the ground up, and how he went and got these players from, a lot of them from L.A., and brought them to Boulder, Colorado, and they won a championship. And so it was about that, and it was about his religious beliefs. Very staunch religious guy, always mixed in religion in the team. That became a controversy. Then there was this side story with Sal Anassi, who was a quarterback when McCarthy first got there, and how he had relations with Bill McCartney's daughter, had a son. That was a big thing in the news. I remember all of this going down and everything that went behind it. But the biggest thing that I kind of took out of this story was back during that time, you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, there was always this talk about how these players, and my man T just talked about this just now. There was all this talk about these players and how they were bad kids and they were gangbangers from L.A., and that actually wasn't the case. You know, the media had us believing that the entire team was made of Crips and Bloods, but that actually wasn't the case. None of these kids really had been in trouble. They got into trouble when they were at Colorado because they were like the only black players there, the only black people there, period. I think they said they had less than 5,000 students there that were black, and they had like 30,000 students. And so these players were depicted as these bad guys and these gangbangers because a lot of them were from L.A., but they really weren't bad kids. But they used to get into things because other students there and other people in Boulder, Colorado used to call them the N-word, and they always used to have confrontations. And they get arrested for these little misdemeanor type things. Nothing really big at all. But if you remember back during that time, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, it was almost like every one of these players that McCartney had recruited to come to Colorado were all Crips or Bloods. And that actually wasn't the case. Once again, the media kind of controls the narrative. And the way things are described to you and the way stories are written, they can make you believe anything you want. But that actually wasn't the case. And they actually had a lot of these guys that were interviewed. They were all together in a room, and they were interviewed, and they talked about that time. And it was just incredible. And for people that don't remember that time, if you're under the age of 30 and you don't remember the Colorado Buffaloes of the early 90s, this is the equivalent. What they did in 1990, getting the best college or high school players in the country and some great talent from L.A. to come and play football in Boulder, Colorado, is the equivalent to getting 4- and 5-star players to go and play for, I don't know, Kansas State or somebody like that, or North Carolina State. Maybe not even North Carolina State, not even that high profile of a team. Kansas State is a good one. Or maybe, I don't know, Central Florida or something like that. Exactly. And so it was an incredible job, man, and he actually left college football to be a minister, to further his ministry. You remember, you've heard of the Promise Keepers. That's Bill McCartney, which is huge. And the whole story about Sal Anassi and his daughter was crazy. Sal Anassi actually died like in his junior year of cancer. Incredible story, man. Very well done. Check out The Gospel According to Mac on the Puppet Factory, man. Good stuff. Colorado had it going on. They ain't never been the same since. They were brash. Like Colorado pretty much was the West Coast U. They were the University of Miami, but they were kind of they were on the West Coast. Real brash, arrogant, cocky, good as hell, great athletes. A ton of them players played in the NFL. Eric Bieniemy played in the NFL. You know, Deion Figures played in the NFL. Chad Brown, I mentioned, played in the NFL. Alfred Williams was a beast. And once again, all of these guys I mentioned earlier, they had it going on. That was a very, very special time in college football, man, with the Colorado Buffaloes, the co-national champions, Colorado Buffaloes. My man Shaw, A. Shaw, he emails me all the time. I think he played for him. I didn't realize that he played for Colorado during that time. He emailed me and was like, make sure your brother watch it. But Ryan wasn't even on the national championship team in 1990. He came the year after. Make sure your brother watch it because, believe you me, we would have kicked Georgia Tech's ass. I don't know about that, but the 90 Buffalo team was very, very special, man. Very, very special. All right. If you haven't seen it, make sure you watch it. When we get back from the break, all I'm going to do is read chat. That's all I'm going to do is read your chat. Don't go away. Keep it locked. This is The Doug Stewart Show. In life, things happen, good and bad. And being prepared is always important. If you're like me, a husband, a father, and protector of that family tree, then your family is the most important thing in the world. 95 million U.S. adults don't have protection in place. So, what I've done is put my protection in the hands of the largest and number one independent financial services company in North America, and that's Primerica. They look out for middle America because they believe that offering the most competitive premiums only benefits the client and have been doing so since 1977. If you're a parent, husband, or wife and want to discuss options with one of Primerica's top reps, then call my guy, Greg Wynn, at 678-439-7172. Again, that's 678-439-7172, and he'll put your family first. And hey, tell him that Doug Stewart sent you. Yes! We're doing some huge things here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, home of the Doug Stewart Show, and the biggest thing being broadcasting other shows. That's right, we're executive producing other shows and playing them on my network. You may have a fantastic show or podcast, but do you have listeners? We got listeners. Over 9,000 followers to the Doug Stewart Show on the Spreaker platform, as well as over 200,000 plus listens to the network itself. So here's what you do. Go to Fiverr.com, that's Fiverr.com, and search the Doug Stewart Show or Stewart Media and Entertainment and get all the details. Or just hit up the producer, Tree, at TreeAtTheDougStewartShow.com. That's spelled Trei. Tree@TheDougStewartShow.com, and come and do business with us on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Yes!
Stewies, what's up? Tree here to talk about your home security and the security experts at Strickland Security. Everything the team at Strickland Security does is focused around increasing the security of your home, protecting your family, and your business. Most home security companies, especially the larger ones, want to sell you a cookie-cutter alarm system that maximizes their profits but not your security. The team at Strickland Security will install a customized alarm system that meets your budget and your security needs. This Atlanta-based company is here to solve all of your security problems. Whether you need your alarm system repaired, surveillance cameras installed, or your door locks replaced, Strickland Security is the solution. Don't wait. Call the experts at Strickland Security today. For more information, go to their website at StricklandSecurity.com or give them a call now at 800-422-9075. That's 800-422-9075 and tell them Tree sent you.
Oh, hell no. Where the hell they at? It was supposed to be here over an hour ago. I got a packed house.
You know they gonna beat down.
Boy, you shut your big hamburger helper grimace with a guitar ass up. It's my club. Oh, there you is. Where the hell you been?
Man, hold on one second. I've been just checking my game, sliding through the city, you understand me, trying to get my money right.
Yes, I can dig it, Cat Daddy. Why don't you check your ass up on stage then?
Check this out, Tada. You just get out there and you introduce us, and we gonna handle it from there.
You go ahead then, you big old pimp. I got you, baby. Ain't nothing, it's all good.
We got some beautiful people in the house tonight, and we got some ugly ones. Anyway, we'd like to welcome y'all to the Carolina West. My name is Tyler. Today we got something old and something new for y'all. We got Snoop Doggy Dogg, the Dog Pound, and the fabulous Dramatic.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. I didn't realize that intro was so damn long. Hey, thank you for joining your boy. Okay, I didn't realize they had cussing in it either. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Apologize about that. If you were watching the Knicks in Cleveland last night, somebody really let off a cussing tirade before they went to the break, and they caught all of it. I heard every single bit of it, man. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. If you live in Atlanta, Metro Atlanta, you know it's a great place, but it does have issues with crime, okay? You need to protect your family, man, and if you can do it at a great price with great people and a great company, you should do it. That's why you need to holler at my folks at StricklandSecurity.com. That's right. They have over 55 years combined experience in the business. They'll give you a basic alarm system starting out at just $15. You heard me, $15. Or they can even fix your alarm system that you have, your present alarm system. And they can even give you the big boy alarm system with all the bells and the whistles, cameras, and all of that type of stuff. Holla at my folks at StricklandSecurity.com. They do so much more than home alarm systems. They'll also meet with you and your homeowners association about a neighborhood watch. They've been getting calls to protect and watch over parties for kids and youth. So they just do a lot of things. Great people. They're not going to try to upsell you. Go online and check them out at StricklandSecurity.com. That's StricklandSecurity.com, and tell them that the Doug Stewart Show sent you. I had forgot Mike Pritchard played for the Falcons. Yeah. Mike Pritchard played for the Falcons straight out of Colorado. I've been talking about Colorado in the last segment. But you talk about a beast at Colorado. Mike Pritchard was that utility guy, return punts, kicks, played wide receiver as well. Just phenomenal. Kind of like Devin Hester. Type guy. Rocket Ishmael type guy, but he was a beast for the Colorado Buffaloes. Let me read some of your chat, man. That's all I'm going to do this segment. From Rail Scott. What up, Rail Scott? What's going on in Philly? Y'all got some snow up there yet? Rail Scott says, kids left L.A. to play in cold arse Colorado. Sounds like some Patino-ish activity went on in Boulder. Yeah. See, the thing in this, and I guess I'm not telling you too much because it's a documentary and it's factual, so you can go back, and I'm not spoiling the ending or anything like that. One point that they made is that McCartney, his whole recruiting philosophy is they went after kids. Remember now, they're in the Big 12 or whatever it was called back then. Maybe it was the Big 8 or whatever. But their whole recruiting philosophy is they found out who Nebraska was recruiting from California because they played in the same conference. And, you know, back then, Nebraska was killing folks. Back then, and they gave the stat, like Nebraska and Oklahoma had won the Big 8 or the Big 12. I can't remember exactly what it was back then. It's changed. But they had won the conference like 20 years in a row. Something ridiculous. And so, you know, Colorado was in the conference. And so McCartney's whole thing is Colorado, Boulder, Colorado, is much more beautiful in geography than Lincoln, Nebraska. So he says, okay, if they can get those kids from California to go and play in Nebraska, we can convince them to come to Colorado. Colorado's a better place. Boulder, Colorado is a better place than Lincoln, Nebraska. And so that's what they sold them on. And I'm pretty sure there's probably somebody that had a sack full of money too, but we'll never know. Well, that wasn't talked about last night. But that was their recruiting philosophy is if they're interested in going to Lincoln, Nebraska, they damn sure would be interested in coming and playing here in Boulder, Colorado. So it worked. From Loose Neck Side, they'll find an upcoming episode about my high school, Dallas Carter. Talked to a few cameramen a few days ago. It's based on our 88 Texas State Championship team and the controversy from Sluggo. So Ole Miss and Southern Miss voted to take down their state flag for obvious reasons, but Mississippi State says they will continue to fly high. Shaking my head. Yeah. Fat Boy McCoon and shared a national championship with Georgia Tech. I think I mentioned that. Georgia Tech and which really, you talk about an interesting story that Georgia Tech could bring together the players that they brought together to win a national championship back in 1990. Yeah. Sean Jones, Marco Coleman, and those guys. They had Bell, big running back Bell. Bobby Rodriguez. You remember Bobby Rodriguez? And I'm sure a lot of Atlanta people remember these names, but people outside of Atlanta won't. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. That just doesn't happen. You can't just come to Georgia Tech after having taken basket weaving or whatever in high school. You got to have some smart sense about yourself to even get into Georgia Tech. Like, Georgia Tech is like a step behind Duke and Stanford, and so to win a national championship is a pretty big thing as well. Let's see who we got here. From Clayo72, I hate they say Emmett, but Grambling is playing good ball this year. Southern University is still going to beat them in the Classic, but they're playing good, though. Speaking of which, I didn't know you were talking Grambling and Southern up on the show in the chat room. My Bulldogs take on North Carolina A&T this weekend at home. I think the winner of that game wins the MEAC Conference, and they come to the inaugural Celebration Bowl here in Atlanta, December the 19th. So y'all pray for my Bulldogs that we beat the other bootleg Bulldogs, the Aggies. The hell is an Aggie anyway? I know it's a Bulldog, but just call it a damn Bulldog. From Clay Davis's Sheet Advisor, he says, not many black people are in Colorado, period. So you can imagine the culture shock for those players. Yeah, you need to see it, man. They really detailed some stories where they got into fights, and they were just out minding their business because of the different cultures and not being around white folks ever in their lives, and white folks never seeing black people ever in their lives. It was crazy. I remember my mother, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, my mother worked at the same job for like 40 years. She's retired now, and she balls out of control. She takes vacations every other week. She's earned it, so it's fine. But she took a business trip to Green Bay, Wisconsin for a week. She says that she had been throughout the town. She even went to the mall one time. She was there for like 6-7 days, for this business meeting. She said she never saw one black person at all in Green Bay the entire time she was there. Dorsey Levens, me and Dorsey real cool. Obviously, him and Ryan are very cool. They played together at Georgia Tech. Dorse the horse. He played running back for the Green Bay Packers. And I'm not saying Dorsey is, throwing dispersions against people in Green Bay. But Dorsey used to always tell me the stories of how they used to go to the mall and like the little kids would see them and point at them like freaking animals at the zoo because they'd never seen black people before. So the moral of the story is, man, those type of scenarios and those situations, you can easily see how to make it a contentious situation. And if you see the gospel according to Mac, man, you can imagine. You can imagine. They were pointing at Dorsey and them, the black players, and playing for the Packers like they had never seen a black person before, man. So, yeah, that would definitely be an issue. From Al Thompson, I got to see this 30 for 30 because I always wondered how they got good so fast, so good so fast. From Al Thompson, the NFL is a 24/7 work. If he jumps ship to the NFL, then what he said about balancing family and football is a joke. Then I will see your point, Miss Thorny. From Uncle Mike, I just saw that picture of Uncle Donnie. Yeah, Doug, let the glasses go. It ain't worth it. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. So if you didn't listen to the show, I think it was 2 days ago. You need to listen to every show. You need to go back and listen to every show on podcast, first of all. But if you missed my story about my Uncle Donnie and him pimping me for my shades, you need to go back and listen to the story. True story. And I posted a picture of both my uncles, my mother's brothers, on the Facebook group, and now y'all kind of get it. My Uncle Mike, and a lot of y'all didn't even catch this until I posted it. My Uncle Mike in the picture is holding his hands like he's holding a pistol, like an imaginary pistol. No lie. Check out the picture on the Doug Stewart Show Facebook group page, man. And you'll get a kick out of it. All right, we get back from the break, man. Damn, the show's almost over. I'll read chat. We'll quickly talk about tonight's Cleveland Browns versus Cincinnati Bengals game. This should be an ass-kicking of epic proportion tonight. And I'll tell you, my number one thing I hate in sports, or dislike, or I think is stupid, something like that. Don't go away. Keep it locked. The Doug Stewart Show. We're back. The Two live stews are back on air every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on WGST. It's sports talk with hot sauce. Special thanks to our sponsor, Bruce Hagen, at Hagen-Law.com for making it happen.
640 WGST in Atlanta. Search 640 WGST on iHeartRadio worldwide.
Yes! In life, things happen, good and bad. And being prepared is always important. If you're like me, a husband, a father, and protector of that family tree, then your family is the most important thing in the world. 95 million U.S. adults don't have protection in place. So, what I've done is put my protection in the hands of the largest and number one independent financial services company in North America, and that's Primerica. They look out for middle America because they believe that offering the most competitive premiums only benefits the client and have been doing so since 1977. If you're a parent, husband, or wife and want to discuss options with one of Primerica's top reps, then call my guy, Greg Wynn, at 678-439-7172. Again, that's 678-439-7172, and he'll put your family first. And hey, tell him that Doug Stewart sent you. Yes! Do you have your own radio show? Are you an artist or a DJ? BB Mobile Apps is the solution for you. They specialize in creating mobile apps for entertainers. That's right. You can have your own mobile app where your followers can hear your shows or music, watch your videos, and view all your social networks in one place. You can even make money with banner ads and send push notifications directly to your audience to make sure they get your messages. Everyone has their phones on them, right? A mobile app will add credibility to your brand because your content will be accessible to them while they're on the go. BB Mobile Apps also makes apps for bloggers, actors, and producers. The process only takes about 20 minutes. Just go to bbmobileapps.com and click Get Started Now. That's bbmobileapps.com and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you.
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt, specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your number one advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975 and work it out.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Let that beat drop. If you're not stewing, what in the hell are you doing? This is the Doug Stewart Show. Hey, man, make sure you check out the 2 live stews this Saturday morning on 640 WGST, as well as iHeartRadio. Last weekend was crazy, man. Last weekend was absolutely cray-cray, like the young people say. But this week we're back to normal as far as the flow of everything and the logistics of doing the show. So make sure you check out the 2 live stews Saturday morning, 11 a.m., 640 WGST, as well as iHeartRadio worldwide. All right, so let me give you, before I forget, I've done this before, I've forgotten about the last name on my top 5 list. So top 5 things I hate in sports. All of this derived from the conversation of the Cleveland Cavaliers and the NBA making these players wear these volleyball shirts, which just looks silly to me. Number 5 on my list is Jacksonville Jaguars helmets. I'm taking a lighter side look at this thing than T. T is all serious. I mean, that's good. But, I try to have fun with what I do. So number 5 is Jacksonville Jaguar helmets. I think they look absolutely stupid. I mean, you're a professional team. Act like professionals, damn it. And don't hire a freaking graffiti artist to come in and paint your damn helmets. Number 4, the Friday night college football games. I absolutely loathe those. That's very disrespectful. That's more disrespectful than anything else. Number 3, the volleyball shirts in the NBA. Obviously, we've been talking about that all day. Number 2, hitting another guy with a baseball because his teammate did something you don't like. There's no rule against flipping your bat or running slow around the bases or doing a pirouette like Barry Bonds used to do. But because somebody else did something, you're going to hit me? Oh, hell no. And the number one thing that I hate in sports, and I think is just stupid as hell, managers wearing baseball uniforms. Man, there ain't nothing more stupid than Dusty Baker or Tommy Lasorda or the great Earl Weaver, God bless the dead, packed into a baseball uniform and they belly hanging over they belt and they just look old and decrepit. And they wearing a baseball uniform like they going to go out there and steal some bases or something. Why? Why? I mean, I don't get it. Bobby Cox in a baseball uniform. And they wear it seriously, like they going to go out there and play some baseball. Like they might have to make a substitution. They going to substitute themselves in the game. That's silly. That's absolutely silly. I railed on this for many, many years. Ryan, being the contrarian that he is, he always used to argue with me. Like, this cool. It's great. It ain't cool. It's stupid. Now, I think at some point over 100 years ago, there used to be manager players. And so they used to wear a uniform and they theoretically could go in. I think Pete Rose actually was a manager player for a minute. I'm not sure about that. But no, Bobby Cox ain't going in to steal second. Bobby Cox not going to be a switch hitter. Earl Weaver and Joe Torre not going to go out there and shag some balls. They're not going to play a shortstop. It's silly. Why? Baseball has a lot of those silly type idiosyncrasies about it. The whole hitting players because their teammate did something is just as silly. I mean, this could be 1A and 1B. Hitting a guy with a baseball that could kill him and a 70-year-old man that's gut is hanging over his belt wearing a uniform is silly too. So there you have it. This is why you listen to the Doug Stewart Show, because I speak some sense to y'all. A lot of y'all probably never even thought of that. But one day, this was probably 8-9 years ago, when Bobby Cox was still a manager of the Braves. And I'm watching this game on TV, and I go into the studio next day, and it occurred to me watching the game, like, why is Bobby Cox wearing a baseball uniform? Like, I never thought about it before. And it just hit me. Why is this old man in a baseball uniform? No other. That's the equivalent of, Jimmy Johnson, wearing a football uniform on the sideline. Or Phil Jackson or Derek Fisher wearing the uniform of their team that they're coaching in basketball. That's silly. Why do they do it in baseball? I don't know. From 9-0 to Rhino, same thing in South Texas. I go there for work and will not see a black person for weeks. From Rel Scott, Doug, kiss them shades goodbye. Oh, yeah, them shades. And you know what? That was many years ago. My Uncle Donnie housed me for my shades. And I've been home, obviously, 20, 30 times since then. And I've seen them 20, 30 times since then. And I haven't seen the damn shades. I think he lost the damn shades. Yeah. From Vince Wright, what up, Big Smooth? Vince says, I told that to my friend. She is a news anchor in Green Bay. She says, my coworker is black, a cute sister. She was gone by the next year. I saw Vince posted something in the chat, too. Let's see. No, I don't think this is it. But Vince posted something. Vince is from the Midwest, from Minnesota. But he had made mention how that damn right your mother didn't see a black person in Green Bay if it was pre-Reggie White. And I thought about that. You're exactly right. And that could actually be, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, that could actually be a good 30 for 30. And how Reggie White totally by himself, single-handedly changed the fortunes of the Green Bay Packers organization. But this, once again, I'm preaching to y'all. I'm giving y'all a little history lesson. If you're under the age of 30, you've seen pretty much some good Green Bay Packers football. But when I was a kid, during the 70s and the 80s, before Brett Favre and Reggie White got there, the Green Bay Packers sucked. And one of the big reasons, reportedly, was because black players didn't want to go and play and live in Green Bay. So they couldn't recruit and they couldn't attract good black free agents to come and play for the Packers. Reggie White changed that by himself. And I don't know, maybe they've already done a 30 for 30 on that. And I'm just not remembering it right now. It seems like I'm sure I've seen stories before. But I think that would be a very intriguing 30 for 30 where they go back and they chronicle Reggie White's decision to leave Philadelphia and go and play for the Green Bay Packers. But because before he did that, no, that was kind of like, that wasn't going to happen. Brothers was not going to play for the Green Bay Packers. And Reggie White kind of changed that when he went there. A couple other high-profile free agents decided to sign with the team, and they won a Super Bowl. I think maybe they won 2 Super Bowls. I can't remember right now. But, yeah, he was the catalyst for the change. A Green Bay that had been bad for many, many years. And I know that Titletown, and they won the championships with Lombardi in the 60s or what have you. But I'm talking about during my childhood, in my teen years, Green Bay sucked. Like Green Bay was the equivalent to, Cleveland Browns or something like that. They never was in contention for nothing. They suck. So Reggie White came there, and they lucked up with the whole Brett Favre thing, and the rest is history. Now, let me read more of your chat here, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Before I get out of here, thank you so much for joining your boys. From Togo, Uganda, he says, God told Reggie White to go to Green Bay, then Charles Woodson eventually. From Vince Wright, Andre, we got jungle fever. We shook, ha. From Texas Ty, I'm thinking I'm going to have to go back to school, too. I just hate doing research papers. What are they talking about? Andre Elam, my homeboy Robert Brooks, who plays wide receiver for the Packers, used to love them Caucasian sisters. I believe he married one. Yeah, Robert Brooks, baller, beast. Played for the Carolina Gamecocks, played for Green Bay. He was part of that resurgence of the Green Bay Packers organization. Very good wide receiver. From Vince Wright, preach rail. Let's have a virtual glass of Crown this weekend, cuz. From Slugger, really? I saw a video of a brother being harassed because he was killing time until he picked up his kids, storing a call the terrorists on him. Unbelievable. From Thorny Switch, this really is Ty. I'm having a similar issue. That's why I had to get an advanced degree. Damn. From Togo, Uganda. Black free agents would not go to Green Bay. I grew up in Milwaukee. I know. From Rel Scott, Vince, Doug, you gave credit for my Reggie White post. Laugh out loud. Okay, if it was you, Rel Scott, I apologize. I thought it was Vince. No disrespect. There's plenty of love to spread around here. Let me read one more. From Uncle Luke, because the Packers sucked. Yes, they did. From Texas Ty, I'm trying to move up in my company, but you need dumb amounts of experience to do something I can learn in a week. From KC, Bill Russell used to be a player coach. We don't need NBA coaches on the sideline in their volleyball shirts. You brought the whole thing back home, huh? From Nino the Rhino, learn something new every day. From Grego, shout out to baseball managers in uniforms. Added that on Facebook post. It is indeed, Ty. We've hired several people here in my office because, damn, they have some type of corporate conversation. I think that's a good place to end the show. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah. from Miss Mocha Bella. Thank goodness the show will start on time. 6:40 a.m. on WGST, the family station where Ryan Stewart is the ejaculation technician. That was just totally out of pocket. Totally out of pocket. By my little Bubba. But that's what he do. That's what he do. Hey, thank you so much for joining me today on the Doug Stewart Show. Shouts out to all of the Stewies. Man, without y'all, there would be no me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Shouts out to the Tree of Life, producer to the show, Waterhead Walter. Thank you, Walter, for doing what you do. Thank y'all. Who we got else in here? Who else we got in here? Dwayne Vasson, Gerald Oliveri, the engineers to the Doug Stewart Show. You talk about there'd be no me without them. Yeah. Thank you to you. Thanks to you guys. We appreciate it. Man, a lot of great chat today. A lot of great chat today, man. Thank you, Stewies. All right, so we'll do it again tomorrow. Same Doug Stewart time, same Doug Stewart channel. If you'd like to advertise with the Doug Stewart Show, man, I mean, we're doing it real Big Wooly style, and I did say Wooly. W-U-L-L-I-E. We are doing it real Big Wooly style around here. That's what they say in Charleston. It's a long story. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let's do some business, man. We have a great product, as you can tell. Ain't you have a good time today? Weren't you entertained? Huh? You know you're entertained. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. Shouts out to my man Pink Gator. Beans and cornbread on the production for this hot-ass track. Yes, sir. We'll do it again tomorrow. Once again, same Doug Stewart time, same Doug Stewart channel. Peace.